Okay, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another episode of the number one student podcast in the world, the Student Podcast. Today we are here with Tim Stewart Fitness, a fellow YouTuber, a good friend, a fellow bodybuilder, and yeah, we've been friends for a while now. Probably, was it 2 years now? 1 year?
No, two. 2
years.
Both of our first years of uni, we met, didn't we? Right, early on as well.
October time.
So yeah, like coming on 2 years now.
How does it feel to be on the number one student podcast in the world?
It's just fantastic. Thanks for having me, bro. It's an absolute honour to be on here.
So today I thought we'd dive into some more kind of like fitness topics, talking about bodybuilding, talking about balance with university, kind of how to balance bodybuilding with university, talking about experience with competitions, future competitions, etc. So first things first, how we met. So me and Tim is good friends with someone that I know back from home, back in Nottingham. And I remember one time where I was in the gym at Ultimate Fitness in Birmingham. Tim actually came up to me in the changing room, stopped me and is like, "Are you Thomas Rowntree, a Seb's mate?" And I was
not a fan. I was not a fan.
And so obviously at the time I had like probably about 300 subscribers. You had about 70.
If that.
So obviously someone coming up to me in the gym like, "Are you Thomas Rowntree?" I was thinking, fuck yeah, no, like, how do people know me? Anyway, bumped into Tim, said hello, obviously exchanged names, whatever. And there, from then on, we did a collaboration. We did a little video together, which was, looking back, it was dreadful.
Awful. I hate looking back at old videos.
And now, to be honest, from the get-go, we've got on really, really well. We're now really, really good friends. He coached me through my first diet early on in the year, which you guys probably would have seen. Living lean.
Yeah, and that's it really. It just kind of went over there. Then we trained a couple of times after that. Made a couple more videos, and then it just became frequent, didn't it?
Yeah,
and actually just got along really well.
Sharing passions in bodybuilding, of course. YouTube. Tim has always been into his YouTube. He's always loved YouTube. Before me, Tim was an unbelievable editor. I know you've lost your passion really in editing and YouTube recently. But Tim has always been amazing at editing. Always had a great passion with like Christian Guzman, etc. That's kind of
like content creating as well. But yeah, recently I've kind of fallen out of love with it. I'm trying my best to get back into it. It's just because since prep, I had something to film every single day and like an end thing to film. Where now it's kind of like off season and just I've done the same thing every day. And what do I do next? But I am getting back into it. I filmed today. I will find my way again and hopefully get the subs rolling again.
Well, that's exactly the same with me. Hence why I'm doing a podcast now, because if I'm honest, doing videos, it's not tedious, but it gets to a point where there's only so many times you can film yourself cooking some food.
Especially as our life's got like so meticulous now.
Yeah.
Like I do this, I eat the same thing, I eat the same time every single day, I train the same time every day, I live in the same house every day. Like I'm not traveling around like the other.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, it has got a bit tedious, and this is a good idea, like good thing for you because it's something different. And just like priorities have kind of changed. Coaching's taken a front foot now over YouTube.
Yeah, so you're becoming a coach now, aren't you?
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why. But I do miss it. So I'm going to put out a video this week. I filmed today, and we'll try and get some regular content coming out again.
How is your coaching going? Because I know I was one of your not first clients, but proper clients doing a diet.
Yeah, I mean I've done like online training for a couple of years, but nothing serious in terms of coaching. It was more just diet plans and training plans. But now fully launched an online coaching business, and it's going fantastic. I couldn't have wished for a better start, to be honest. I'm doing it properly for about you were one of my first. Well, probably like January I had the first couple, and then now I have a big team. And it's expanding really, really well. It takes up a lot of time, but it's going fantastic.
And I feel like your prep has definitely helped you massively with. So Tim actually did a competition, a men's physique competition, which is not something you generally wanted to do in the first place.
The category I kind of fell into.
And now that's definitely helped you kind of push you forward in the whole bodybuilding industry.
Yeah.
Getting your clients.
100%, and just taught me so much about myself as well. It's kind of changed my life in a lot of ways. But yeah, in terms of business, in terms of social media, it blew things up as well, definitely. Especially that I coach myself for the prep as well. So yeah.
So with me and Tim obviously doing a lot of YouTube, training a lot, a big question that I get asked a lot is talking about balance. How do we balance university with training, with YouTube? Because I feel like me and Tim have shaped our way of thinking through training. A lot of people that don't train, they don't necessarily understand how to get in a routine, how to balance university with training. So a couple of tips that we'd probably go into is definitely find a structure. For Tim, him going through a prep, it definitely helped him understand how to balance things, how to
structure. Yeah, I'll be honest. Last year, throughout my whole life, I haven't really had structure or prioritised anything academic or uni. It was kind of just training was priority. And I didn't even train. Well, to be honest, I used to train at night every single day because I would not get up early. And I didn't have any structure or any balance. University was right at the back of the pile in terms of priorities last year. But since prep and since obviously coaching's taken off, I've now developed structure and priorities have changed. Although training is still my number one priority, I fit everything else around it in the day. And yeah, university is a lot higher in the.
So how did prep help you then?
Because prep, I got up every single day at literally 7 in the morning. I did fasted cardio every single morning, pretty much. I ate the same foods, the same time every day. It just turned me into a robot. And in the end, I look back and I'm like, how did I not have structure?
Yeah.
How did I live like that with no structure? Like it's so much better now.
Yeah. With competing and prepping, structure is essential.
Oh yeah,
to get your meals in,
essential.
To make sure you're going to bed at the right time, to make sure you're getting your pre-workout meal in 90 minutes before you train, to get your post-workout meal in, to get your obviously the anabolic window. There's all kind of things to note that you have to have structure when you are doing a prep, when you are doing a competition.
Sleep, going to bed at the right time so that you can then wake up again. Because like a massive mistake with people is that they don't prioritize sleep and they think, I'll only have 4 hours sleep and I'll get up and do my cardio, where we know that research shows that if you are compromising your sleep, then fat metabolism is gonna slow down massively. So there isn't not a lot of point in getting up and doing that cardio if you are compromising your sleep. But yeah, prep just turns you into an absolute robot, and it completely changed my life in that way, that I will never go back to not having structure now. And translate that over to university. Now everything's just flowing. I get work done so much more efficiently. I have way more time in the day to actually do work because I'm up. Before, it was like, if I was up before midday, that was an absolute bonus. I used to remember like when we'd train last year, me and Jermaine, and you guys would want to train at like 1 o'clock. I used to be like, I am gutted.
You used to get up at half 12.
I used to get up at like 12 and just not be able to eat and just have to go straight to the gym, because like I can't believe that training in the afternoon used to be like heartbreaking for me.
Yeah,
I used to hate it, but now obviously now every single day I train around midday. But yeah,
but you're not the only person that lives that kind of lifestyle at university.
Oh no, my whole house.
A lot of people have completely no structure at all. They don't eat anything.
No,
they don't do anything all day.
My whole house was like it. That's why I kind of fell into the trap, because if I did try and get an early night as well.
Well, you were up till like 4 or 5 every night.
The thing is, we actually go upstairs to bed at like 11, 12, and we would just piss her out for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And the time literally would just go like that. Next thing you know, we look at the clock and it's like 4:30, and I'm like, oh my days. And I've got to be up at 12 to go train with him. It's just like, no, not happening.
But now you physically would not be able to do that. If you were, for someone like you who's got the end goal of becoming an IFBB pro or whatever you want to do, become a classic athlete, which we'll dive more into, you need to, like, for someone that, if Tim's got this end goal, he's going to do everything in his power to get to that end goal. Yeah. Going to bed at 4 or 5 o'clock every night is probably not the most ideal thing for you to do. Like, one thing that Josh Bridgman talks about a lot is how if you don't actually get 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, you're actually knocking years.
Yeah,
you are knocking time off your life.
It's like shift workers. It's a massive problem because it's actually carcinogenic to not get a lot of sleep. It does literally knock years off your life. It's like as bad as smoking like a couple of cigarettes a day, it's that extreme now that they've realised that it's a big problem with like shift workers. And I was essentially shift working at times because my sleep patterns were just all over the place, and I was literally getting no sleep, going to bed at like 4:30 the next day, trying to make up for it and go to bed at 11. Circadian rhythm is all over the place, and it is literally found out that it is basically carcinogenic and like promotes a lot of like different types of cancer. And it's as bad as like smoking. I don't know how many, but smoking a considerable amount of cigarettes a day, and it's true. It does knock years off your life.
But people don't realise that. I wouldn't know that.
No, I know.
Until I started to go into more detail about bodybuilding and the more details about it.
That's the thing.
Listening to Josh Bridgman, etc.
And like the studies as well, when they had two groups of people both in like a dieting phase. One group of people got like 4 to 6 hours sleep and did more cardio, and one group got like 7 to 10 hours sleep and did less cardio, and they was both on the same macronutrients. And the team with the less cardio but more sleep lost fat way faster, and more fat, less muscle tissue. And the team doing more cardio, less sleep, lost more tissue and less fat. And so it's pivotal. Sleep is so important.
Yeah. And that's something that I've definitely noticed recently. I've gone through periods in my life where I've gone like months where I haven't slept properly. Recently, I've been like properly struggling with my sleep. I just can't get to sleep. I've even come to you speaking about potential supplements. But for me, I'd probably say try as hard as you possibly can. Do everything in your power to get your sleep sorted before you start going into supplements, because otherwise you can start relying on the supplements.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So stuff like CBD oil, I don't know how useful that kind of stuff is. But
CBD oil is fairly useful. You've got like magnesium biglycinate,
ashwagandha,
5-HTP.
I did some research into that, and it helps you manage stress, innit?
Ashwagandha. Yeah, it basically just flicks a switch. It just promotes parasympathetic activity, basically just putting you in a relaxed state. But yeah, then you got magnesium biglycinate, zinc's great. Ashwagandha, CBD, 5-HTP, they're the main ones that are really good. But before going into them, I would literally try and do everything that you can in your power to change your routine to actually help you sleep better. And even like people don't realise, but getting as much sunlight as possible is going to help you sleep later on in the day.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, and just basically it's just promoting that circadian rhythm, not being around blue light at night, because that's basically it's tricking your body into thinking that it's still light outside. And naturally, we have that circadian rhythm where we wake up, typically when it's dawn, and then it gets lighter throughout the day, and then the sun obviously sets, and then it's like, okay, body knows it's sleep time. But when the sun sets and you've got blue light around you at all times, it's not flicking that switch to go parasympathetic and for your body to be ready to sleep. So blue light blockers, I would recommend investing in. They're really
sure.
good.
I've even got cheap ones from Amazon, £10. You got the same ones, haven't you?
Yeah.
£10 from Amazon.
They're not expensive at all, and they have helped. I mean, there are proper good ones like RA Optics and stuff. You can see it on like the Muscle Mentor, or Josh wears them. But they're pricey. But even the cheaper ones of Amazon, they do a decent job. And just like switching laptops and phone onto night mode and making
that's
them
what I do
ambient.
every night now.
So yeah, but there's things you can do before going down the supplementation route. I feel like nowadays people just instantly want that quick fix and instantly want how many supplements can I take that's going to help with this and this, and it's like you can do so many things before that.
Well, people are just lazy.
It's true.
They don't want to go through. They don't want to go turn their laptop off 2 hours earlier, or they don't want to wear blue light blockers. They can't be bothered, so they just think, I'll just take some supplements and it'll help me out. But that's obviously not. It's not the fix, because then you start relying on these supplements. And it's also things like not eating 3 hours before going to bed.
Yeah, well, I mean, because obviously if you have a massive hefty meal before you go to bed, how do you think you're going to fall asleep when your body's still digesting it? So,
yeah, for sure. So balance is definitely key for balancing training at university. Obviously, that's something Tim that had to test himself. That's probably one thing I would say is definitely test things out, see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Tim going through a prep and me going through a prep. Obviously, I didn't exactly do a prep, but
a dieting phase.
It definitely helps you understand what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. Like for me, I couldn't have got probably to how lean I was if I hadn't had that regimented routine, that discipline to go to bed at a certain time every night. Obviously, being a university student is a little bit more flexible. Probably most of you people that are watching or listening to this podcast aren't necessarily as deep into the bodybuilding industry as probably me and Tim are. So it's probably not as serious for you guys, but definitely do things like, if you want to sleep better, don't eat after 3 hours before going to bed. Put your laptop and your phone onto night shift, etc. So something I wanted to dive into is the topic of YouTube. So we've been doing YouTube for
couple of years,
two and a half years now.
Years,
Probably
yeah.
not very long, to be honest.
No.
And something that TM Cycles actually went into recently was actually talking about the pressures of social
Was that
media.
his story?
Yeah,
I didn't read him all, but I saw he went on a little rant about it. Yeah,
because he went to
Ibiza,
Ibiza, yeah, absolutely broken. So pressures of social media and the fact that something that like we haven't been uploading as much as we have been previously, and talking about like clickbait. We feel like we have to use stuff like clickbait. You know what we were talking about David Layden, how he doesn't use any clickbait at all. And then if we did titles and videos like that, it just wouldn't blow up.
Yeah, but I know, but like back in the day when he started off when there was no YouTubers really, was there?
No.
So
he was one of the first like big fitness YouTubers.
So when he put like raw chest and back workout, and there's probably 3 YouTube videos on there of a chest and back workout. That's why it's got like 1 million views, because you click on that video. Yeah. Now, obviously, he's got that subscriber base, and everyone knows David Lade for like he's quite good editing content and his aesthetics. They'll watch it now, won't they? And he releases like movies, doesn't he? They're like an hour long now.
Yeah, and the problem is the fitness industry is so saturated now.
Yeah,
so unbelievable. Like even people like Max and Christian, I don't even watch that often anymore because I get bored. It's like the whole thing about priorities. Like what for you probably feel like you're wasting your time watching people like Max. You want to be learning about things all the time, listening to podcasts. Podcasts are.
That's all I listen to. That's the thing. Like all I do now is pretty much listen to podcasts to learn. YouTubers that I watch is like TM Cycles, Josh Bridgen. I watch Seabum's Olympia Prep, but I feel like I am wasting time watching entertainment YouTube videos, especially like fitness entertainment YouTube videos. Obviously, when I first started the gym, and people like 17-year-olds and stuff that I first get into the gym, they're not just entertainment; they're informative as well. But when you go beyond that point, watching Christian Guzman now and watching Max Tuning, it's just like, and especially like with the clickbait titles, I've just kind of fallen out in love with that entertainment fitness industry. So,
and I feel like we're not really chasing views anymore.
That's the thing. Like I was saying actually to my housemate earlier today, he was on about my Instagram growth. Yeah, and I was like, when I first started a fitness Instagram, I wanted to have like 300k followers and just be like a just put topless pics up. And now I'm really not bothered if I literally ended up with just 15k, but it's your engagement, it's your niche. Like my coaching's my priority. You look at AJ, you look at Josh, you look at the Muscle Mentors, they've got like 20k, 30k followers. Yet look how many clients they have and look how well respected they are in their niche of bodybuilding. Like the Brandon Hardins, the Rob Lipsett, your Joe Delaney's. That's why they look not Brandon, but it's why they look the same year in, year out as well, is because they rely on Instagram growth, they rely on social media photos, so they stay lean all year round. That's another reason like why they look the same they do, but that's not like what I'm interested in anymore, to be that kind of fitness influencer. I want to be an online coach, and it's more your engagement, your following, and how respected you are in that niche that's going to get you anywhere. And it's the same with YouTube, kind of clickbait titles now. My last recent videos, I haven't really clickbaited at all.
Neither have I.
Because it's just like,
it's pointless now.
It's pointless.
It's so pointless. Like when you start YouTube, obviously everyone wants to be that YouTuber. Everyone wants to be the next Christian Guzman. Everyone wants to have an unbelievable following on Instagram. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you are chasing it for followers, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to be yourself. You're going to try and force this kind of like different persona about yourself, and it doesn't work. Like for me, from personal experience, trying to use clickbait, etc., I was literally just like desperate for views, for growth. I was obsessed. I'd wake up every morning, look at how many subscribers I've got, look at how many views I've got, and it became a little bit obsessive at the fact that I was fully chasing views. And like, I'd message you if one of my videos hadn't done so well, and you're like, why hasn't it done so well? And like, you do the same to me, and 100%. It's like, bro,
but I think if you just enjoy content creating, now it will just grow organically as you put out organic material like that you actually enjoy doing and enjoy making, where rather than I've made a 10-minute video and now I'm thinking, how can I finish this video off so I can get a clickbait title or a clickbait thumbnail. A few times. Yeah, I did. I used to think of like a title, like a thing I could put at the end of the video, but like there's literally no point, and I feel like you're not going to blow up like they did back in the day because it's so saturated now. So even if you do clickbait it, how many people are really going to watch that more? Unless it's a viral video, is a clickbait video getting 500 more views than your regular fight going to do that much? I mean, viral videos do blow you up, but chasing a viral vid as well
not
just degrades the content of the quality.
And it just takes away the whole fun out of it as well.
Oh, 100%.
The end of the day, we both started doing YouTube and Instagram because we enjoyed making content. I love editing. I love filming. I love speaking to a camera. I'm just like proper intrigued about the whole YouTube thing. And at the end of the day, if you're chasing views, if you're chasing money or fame or whatever, you're not gonna love it. You're not gonna love it. You're just gonna fall out of love with it. You need to create content that you're gonna enjoy and that's gonna be sustainable as well.
No, I agree.
Like filming a podcast, I love sitting down, getting people on. Obviously, I've only had you and Andy on, but I feel like I can be much more myself. I can be much more relaxed. I can just speak. I can just sit down and speak for an hour and just not have to worry about what I'm saying. No. Not have to worry about editing and doing all these fancy edits. What kind of title can I do? Yeah. I just sit down, talk. If people enjoy it, they enjoy it. If it helps someone out, they help someone out. If it doesn't, it's fine.
I feel like podcasts are like the way forward as well. They're just so much more relaxed. They're entertaining and informative. And it is just like, you're kind of just in the room with people just having a conversation and chatting away rather than just, I don't know, they definitely are the way forward. I think it was a pretty good move on your behalf. Especially now you are the number one in the world.
I know, Jesus. Stop that. But yeah, podcasts. Also, I was doing some research on it the other day. They're becoming, Cam was talking to me about how sound is becoming the next big thing in graphic design. And podcast is actually now like a multi-billionaire platform.
Is it?
It's becoming like huge, like proper big. And I don't even know if there are any there probably is student podcasts out there, but I don't know if those. I've never seen one. Have you seen one?
I've never seen one.
That's why when I saw it, I was hoping I wasn't going to get like
someone comment like,
you've stolen my name or whatever. I did do some research and no one was called the student podcast.
No, I've not heard of it. So.
So yeah, competitions. You're in your off season now. What's the plan? What's the plan of action?
So the plan of action is to get as big as humanely possible in 2 years. I want to compete again in 2021. So obviously I competed in the summer in men's physique. It's kind of just the category I fell into. Obviously I was 20 when I started my prep. I was just 21 when I finished it. So I'm competing in 2021 again, junior bodybuilding and classic.
Are you going to go into bodybuilding as well then?
I'll still be a junior, so I think it would be silly to not
Might as well
do junior bodybuilding. So I'll probably do some qualifiers. I'll probably do like PCA junior bodybuilding with some qualifiers, and then go for a 2 bros classic and see how I look on stage and up against the actual top quality classic competitors, and then evaluate from there. So basically, for now, with me, my off season, it's just literally packing on as much size as possible, doing everything that I can to create the classic physique I want. And I feel like with classic as well, with bodybuilding and men's physique, I feel like it's different. But classic, I have like a physique in mind that I envisage, and like it's kind of sculpting that
Chris
physique.
Bumstead.
Yeah, right,
just Chris Bumstead.
Yeah, just trying to be Chris Bumstead as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But no, that's basically where I'm at the minute. So I've been gaining since like 2 weeks after my competition. I started my gaining phase. Today I woke up the heaviest I've ever been again. So yeah, it's all going in the right direction to get freaky strong as well.
Silly strong. Tim is. You're getting strong, bro.
Yeah,
you're getting strong.
I'm getting strong.
Yesterday you did a 4.5 plate incline press. Jesus.
And that is an unforgiving machine as well. If anyone's used the
it's
hammer
nice
strength press, it's beautiful.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. Just being as smart and meticulous as I can with my training as hard as I can, and with eating as well. And yeah, that's it really. Just enjoying the off season life. Enjoying
food. Team no abs, yeah. Fluffy.
And what about you, bro? Season. You're in your off season too?
Yeah, so I did a diet back in end of May, up until end of July for my holiday. So it was kind of like a prep. It kind of wasn't. It kind of was.
It's kind of dipping your feet into.
I was testing the waters for sure.
It was more intense than a normal diet than just a lifestyle transformation, but it wasn't as intense and had that prep finish line. It was kind of just dipping your feet to see how you responded.
It was definitely a diet that I wanted to use to test if I did have the capabilities of doing a competition, if I did have the mindset. It was one of them things where when I got asked Tim to coach me, It was one of the things that I was going to do literally everything in my power, or I was going to do everything that Tim told me to do. I was going to do every carb, every protein, every macro, every step, wasn't going to miss any cardio sessions, wasn't going to miss any reps or sets or anything.
No.
Did everything as humanly possible. And if you are going to go into competitions, doing exactly what your coach says is probably vital, and definitely getting a coach is helpful, because you don't actually have a coach at the moment, do you?
No.
Would you get one?
I'm going to get one.
Oh yeah, Callum.
Yeah.
A
couple of months' time, I'm going to get a coach. Callum Raystrick from the Muscle Mentors.
I think it'd be silly not to.
Yeah, it would be. I wanted to do the first one coach myself, so that I can also take that to clients and I can coach other people and experience. And I'm quite stubborn.
Yep.
I had a conversation with Hat, my girlfriend, as well, and she was like, "Are you sure you're in the right frame of mind to get a coach at this point in time? Because you'll probably just disagree with what the coach is saying.
Yeah, but it's Callum,
you'll find your own research." I was like, "Yeah, I know," because I was potentially getting someone else. And she was like, "If it's not 100%, you know you, Tim, you'll find your own research, you'll have your opinion again, and you won't do it." So I'm going to go with Callum. I have spoke to him, probably looking at February time, so that I can work with him for like a year in the off season, then translate that into prep as well. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. And obviously I've picked him because I can learn so much as well as being coached, where I feel like if you just go to be
it's
coached,
like an investment as well.
Exactly. If you just go to be coached, then I feel like it's a bit pointless. You want someone that you can actually learn from, that's going to like teach you while coaching you.
The amount I learned from you.
Well, from that prep, like that diet, you literally changed your whole training diet. Everything literally completely changed. And that's why I said, like, you are like a bodybuilder now. You can call yourself a bodybuilder, an aspiring bodybuilder. Before, you just kind of just trained.
I was just fitness knob.
You're a fitness. fitness. But but it's true. Everything did completely change, and
but that's why I say experience is key. I wouldn't have changed my mindset towards bodybuilding, towards eating, towards sleeping, towards routine, everything, if I hadn't actually gone through that prep. And actually gave it my complete all.
That's the thing as well. Like when you do prep, can you imagine not giving it your all? Can you imagine missing steps and knowing you've missed this, had cheated on this, and stepping on stage and then thinking losing, and then thinking,
"Well, I should have just done that step.
If I'd have got them 100 steps in." Like, and people, my biggest pet peeve is when people say like, "But that one meal." That one thing isn't going to hurt. Missing that one cardio session isn't going to hurt. Having that one off-planet meal isn't going to hurt. Everything adds up.
Yeah.
That really drove me mad on prep. So many people used to say it, and it used to drive me mad.
That's like something I always say, is that if you're going to do something, give it your do it 100% or not. You're very much that kind of person now. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it.
I'm all or nothing. Yeah. With everything.
You have to be.
No,
you have
I
to
agree.
Yeah. And successful people do have that mindset.
They have that, yeah, they do.
But would you have that mindset if you didn't train?
I think a lot of it does stem from training. I'm all or nothing with the way I train as well. As I said, like, I think it does translate into how you are in life and like your ambitions. And if you are an ambitious person, yeah. Like if you literally do train to failure and you know how to push your body to the limit, that translates out that you're gonna translate that out into being ambitious and wanting to go further and push yourself further in life, where people that leave the reps in the tank, are they gonna miss things in life? They're just happy doing a 9 to 5 day job, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas we're not.
9 to 5.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm studying to become an architect, which is a 9 to 5 job, but I'm going to make sure I'm not doing that.
No.
I could be an architect, but I'm not going to potentially work 9 to 5. I could do my own company or whatever.
Yeah, so your aim is to have your own architecture firm, surely.
Well, yeah, one day.
One day.
It's all up in the air at the moment. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but moving on. So, yeah, am I going to compete? So, at the moment, I'm in an off-season on my own. I'm not being coached by Tim anymore. I thought I'd just do kind of like my own off-season, do everything myself, kind of get some experience myself for potentially if I want to help people out in the future as well. I'm not going to necessarily be a coach or anything, but if I do want to help people, if people come to me asking for advice or whatever, I can then help them out with my own experience rather than just you kind of constantly coach me, if you know what I mean. So the plan is potentially compete in 2021, probably not around this time, probably like
August,
July.
September. Do you think early
July.
on?
So I
Throughout
can
summer,
enjoy the rest
sometime.
of summer.
Yeah, true. Good point.
And I'll be working like full time at that point as well, so I won't be at uni.
What in 2021?
Probably.
Yeah, probably July, and then you can have summer off, or at least have some time off if you did make finals or whatever.
Yeah.
And you think junior bodybuilding?
Junior bodybuilding or men's physique, but if I'm honest, it all depends how much size I've got at the time, how much, obviously, like muscle maturity I have.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing for me in my diet, is I didn't have enough muscle to go ridiculously lean. Like if I started to go like really, really lean, I probably would just, my muscle would just probably disappear.
Yeah, we kind of took it as far as we possibly could,
Yeah.
without deteriorating just muscle and muscle.
Finishing on
and
that.
starting to pull off just tissue for that extra pound of fat.
Yeah, it's pointless.
It's
so
absolutely pointless. And
especially
that's
for a
one
holiday
thing.
as well.
That's one thing that people have to realise as well, is how much muscle. People don't realise how much muscle they actually have under that fat, and then the maturity of the muscle as well. That's a problem with people dieting so early, and it's a problem with people just yo-yo dieting and just bulking for 4 weeks, cutting for 4 weeks, getting scared of putting fluff on, and then cutting again, getting scared of putting fluff on.
Yeah, but then they don't essentially have the end goal in mind.
No.
So people like Dre, he tends to do like a 3-month bulk and then a little bit of a cut because he feels like he's getting a little bit fluffy, and then he'll do a bit of a bulk and then people like that, obviously Dre doesn't necessarily want to compete, so he can do that if he wants. But for me and Tim, we need to go for a long period of time in an off season, gain as much as humanly possible. I literally want to not double in size, because I won't be able to double in size, but I want to literally put on a hefty amount of weight. I've already put on almost 30 pounds since I finished my diet.
You have blown up recently as well.
Which is mad. I've put on like 28 pounds.
Yeah, it's mad. That's a lot of weight.
Weighed in at 187 pounds this morning.
It's a lot of weight.
But I should be weighing around this for my height.
Yeah.
But I'm just genetically quite small.
We both are, aren't we? We both weigh little for our heights. We're genetically both beanpoles, aren't we? Thin, skinny bones, don't weigh a lot. So it is hard for both of us kind of to put muscle on and to gain weight. I mean, since I come back to uni, it's been nearly 2 weeks now, and my weight dropped 4 pounds. I haven't been able to get that 4 pounds back up just due to 2,000 extra steps, and literally I'm just losing weight again.
How many calories you on now?
4.7-ish, just under 4.7
thousand calories.
And
That's
so,
tough.
I mean, it's going up all the time as well, so...
I have to.
When-
if you're not
in
gaining
two-
weight, you're just going to have to keep up in it.
In a year and a half, it's going to be a lot of food. But I love food, so it doesn't bother me.
When you have to do a mini cut though.
Oh, I will.
Or
I
recomp
will.
at some point.
Yeah, I'm undecided whether I'm going to hit a weight, recomp, and solidify that weight for a month, and then go again, or just mini cut. We'll see. We'll probably do a couple of.
Because it'll get to the point where you're eating a ridiculous amount of food and you won't actually be able to put any weight on.
That's the thing.
So that's when you'll have to have a deload or
Actually mini cut at that point, because obviously recomp's just maintenance, and maintenance is even going to be a stupid amount of food. That's the thing at that point, because it's going to be like even maintenance with recomp's going to be a silly amount of food. So I'll have to mini cut at that point. But yeah, it's all fun and games eating that much. Backloading.
make the most of it before you get on a diet.
5K before I go to bed.
That's me every day at the moment.
Literally.
The problem is when you're bulking, if you don't get enough food in the morning, you've got so much to eat in the afternoon. Like this morning,
Training takes up such a large amount of time that's taken out the day as well, where you don't eat. And like, I haven't thrown in intra-workout carb yet, and that was a godsend last bulk. But because I'm just loving eating, obviously, because I starved myself for 16 weeks, I don't want to waste calories on an intra-workout carb at the minute. I only have it on a leg day.
Didn't you get down to 1,600 calories on your diet as well?
Yeah, on a rest day, yeah. Well, on peak week, in certain days I was lower because obviously I had to shift that water.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on like 1,600 on a rest day at times, and that was just horrific.
I mean, to eat that amount of food, you have to have some like severe discipline.
But people are like 1,600 calories isn't that bad. Like, some of my housemates probably eat that a day. But just what I've said, that I would be recomping on about over 4,000 calories is my maintenance at the minute. I've been having to push to 4.7k to gain weight. Think what 1.6k is like a third of what I usually eat.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But it's also the intensity in your training, the cardio, the steps. everything adds up. You are in a massive
15
deficit.
weeks of dieting before getting there.
15 weeks of not having one
fried.
cheat meal, not having one burger, not having one pizza.
That's the thing. It's
Like religiously sticking to this diet for 16 weeks. It gets tough, man. Like, I struggled like a lot on the last week or so when I was on 1,800 calories.
Your body, it compromises everything.
I was a mess, bro.
Everything changes, mate. My personality was non-existent. You remember Body Power? You remember Body Power, mate? I was awful to be around. I was absolutely awful. I wouldn't even talk for most of the day. I didn't want to expend energy. My voice was just different because I didn't talk as fast. I didn't want to expend energy. I tried to. My body just.
I'm making YouTube videos at the same time as well.
That was the only time I talked was to the camera, and then after that I wouldn't speak for like 10 minutes to anyone.
It's like your face is like this all day, and then you pick up, what's going on, guys? And you put the camera like, fucking hell.
Literally true. That Body Power was hilarious. I remember Cam saying like, "This has hit Tim hard."
Fully. And I spent a lot of time with you as well. I remember I used to message you every morning asking you how you were.
And I didn't get a Luno away, and I'd be gutted.
I know. Yeah,
like, it's mad how our scale weight can just dictate your whole mood for the day.
Oh, yeah,
it would just
but
drive me mad.
Then going from 16 weeks dieting, or 12 weeks in my case, to then going on holiday or going away, eating food for the first time. Jesus, I rebounded proper hard.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Like, well, my problem is that, okay, so I finished my diet on a Saturday evening. The next day I had 7,500 calories. Pretty much ate, like, I felt unbelievably ill. I've never felt so ill before. Never felt so full. Never felt so sick. I had Pizza Hut. I had a full Pizza Hut with the cheesy rims or whatever they're called.
They're unbelievable.
With like 4 sides. That whole week, just going up to my holiday. So bearing in mind I finished my diet 1 week before I went on holiday. I then had a week off. I averaged probably about 4,500 calories a day just because I couldn't. I was just eating. I went on holiday, I think 15 pounds heavier, or maybe even 20 pounds heavier. I then got food poisoning on holiday the next day. So I was away for a week. 2 days in, I got food poisoning. Threw obviously everything up, emptied myself out, came back from holiday, lighter than I was at the end of my diet. So I lost 16 pounds over holiday. So my body was probably screaming at me because I had probably gained 15 pounds before I went on holiday in a week. I then went on holiday, came back 16 pounds lighter, and then I put it all back on again.
I mean, you'd have probably got so ill because your immune system was so compromised as well from the dieting. Whereas I obviously had like 2 days off diet, which again just shit a ton of water straight away anyway. And then I went on holiday 2 days after that. And I ate pretty clean on holiday, to be fair. I kept steps in, I kept expenditure high.
Expenditure was proper, I remember.
I'd kind of just backload meals for a nice meal at night and drinks at night and then ice cream.
I love your ice cream, don't you?
Oh, I'm joking. And I actually came back lighter from before I went on holiday. But like I went on holiday absolutely diced with no abs because it was just a film of water. You know, you saw Jermaine the other day. Yeah. So that was annoying. But then since then I've been meticulous. Like since my prep and that 27th or 29th of June, my competition, I haven't had a Mackey's or KFC. I haven't had a burger since show day. I've had
a few.
I had literally.
You haven't drank much either, have you?
2 nights out.
Yeah. That's what you call discipline, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I haven't had fast food since actually just after that Five Guys on show day. I haven't had fast food unless you class Subway, which I don't class a sandwich from Subway.
No.
But I mean, I have an off-plan meal every week. And that's either just like a meal out with
like
sushi last night, or I just have an untracked meal at home where I just make a meal and not bother about tracking it, and have like some ice cream or something with that. But yeah,
I feel like it's important after doing a competition. You have to enjoy yourself for a bit because you are in because then you will go into an off season where it's fairly disciplined and fairly strict again, and then you go for another 16-week diet. And it can get all on top of you. You're not having a break 100%. From it all. So definitely you need to have a period of time where you do enjoy yourself. Like Christian Guzman, he went away for a month and just ate as much as he wanted.
I won't take it that far, but I would say that I do think you have to get, I say this to clients, I say this to friends, you have to get them cravings out your system.
Yeah, for sure. There's no point trying to battle in it. You just have to get them out.
There's a fine line between binging and just putting all that stress on your body and just ruining everything in a matter of days, and just reverse, like binging and just reverse dieting and having nothing. There's a fine line between the two, but I do think you need to get cravings out of your system and then go from there. Else, even 8 weeks into an off season, you're still going to have them cravings, and it is a mental game. It puts a lot of stress on you mentally. So I do think you need to get the cravings out of the window and then start the off season properly.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something I had to do.
Yeah,
I gave it 3 weeks, a month. Not necessarily eating like a lot of food, but I would occasionally have a McDonald's.
And you did change the way you ate throughout your diet.
Yeah, for sure.
So that kind of also added that pressure and them cravings because you used to track calories and macros, but they weren't good sources of food always.
No.
So you kind of changed throughout the diet. So you had that on the back of your mind that you're not having this food, and then you had the cravings that you wanted. It's not even like you want the Mackies, it's the fact that you can't have the Mackies. Yeah. It's the fact that you pass a Mackies, and before, like, I'd pass a Mackies now and I'd be like, I can have it, but I'm not even asked. On prep, I'm like, oh my God, why can't I have it? I don't even like it that much.
I know. It's the problem is because you're starving yourself and more there's food.
It is, I know. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's very hard. It requires a lot of willpower, doesn't it?
It's good though. I love it. I love the whole process. I love the whole...
Like George Osborne says, in a way, I do like... I used to... If I were to do it again, I have a coach, but I did used to do way more than I needed to do and make myself suffer way more.
But he used to do like an extra 5,000 steps.
Yeah, that was different level. But I used to just enjoy, if I wasn't suffering and going to bed like beaten up, like I'd wake up in days like I'd been hit by a bus the day before. I'd wake up beaten up.
It makes you feel good though. It makes you feel like you've pushed yourself and you've done the right thing.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like even after when we, like last week when we did RDLs, and I was absolutely ruined. Like I was ruined. My body was in bits, and I absolutely loved that.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
That's my favourite thing about training. Literally,
waking up the next day and you're lying on the bed like, I can't move.
That's the thing, and people like train 6 days in a row and 7 days in a row, like neglect rest.
Oh, you have to have rest.
I'm like praying for a rest day after like RDLs. After 3 days on the bounce of PPR, I'm like praying for a rest day. It's just like the decreased food that gets me.
One thing that did through my prep or my diet, one thing that I really understood was how important rest days are.
Yeah.
How important rest is. Giving your brain a rest. Doing things that, like I remember I was thinking of buying like PS4 games to make myself relax because I was doing so many things. I was doing my videos 3 times a week. I was obviously doing all the cardio training and everything. I had to physically force myself to rest, otherwise I was going to burn myself out and I was going to like...
No, yeah, it's true. And like, I've grown, and you're probably the same, more than ever from implementing more rest days because they are the days that you are going to grow. Yeah. That's definitely something that people neglect, especially in early years of training.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because everyone gets so excited, you just think, I just need to keep training.
And there's that classic day, like, what muscle groups rest? It's like you seriously need to prioritize training. Should we get onto the Q&A?
Yeah, Q&A. Yeah. Go on, you ask the first question.
So how many days should you train while bulking as a teenager?
It does.
Yeah.
Why teenager?
Why teenager? Why bulking? And how many days you should train is specific to you, specific to your goal, your recovery. What I would say, if you are new to training, as a teenager or as anyone, personally, I'd go for like an upper-lower split.
Frequency.
I'd go for upper-lower rest, and have a couple of rotations of that. Focus on basic movements. Whether that's cutting or bulking, I'd literally say go into a gaining phase as a teenager as well. And try and maximise as much muscle as you can. Gain as much as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, weight does move weight.
Weight moves weight
to the extreme. I'm not saying get fat. I'm saying gain some fluff. There's a difference. Obviously, there's a diminishing return when you get fat. But also, if you're new to training, I would suggest learning how to train intensely.
Yeah.
Regardless if you train a bro split, if you train push-pull legs, upper lower, if you train RIR, if you train to failure, I believe that at the end of the day, it does come down to intensity more than anything. And unless you are the genetic elite that can literally walk into a gym look at the barbell bench press and look at the protein shake and we'll grow. There's a correlation between all the big dudes in the industry and all the big guys, and it's just
Jesus.
Skirt. It's literally intensity. So I'd learn pretty much where your failure is, where you can take it, and to train intensely. And I'd pretty much focus on basic exercises as well, getting the most bang for your buck out of exercises, and not messing around with isolation and stuff to start with, learning how to do the basics right, and actually just to contract a muscle correctly. But intensity is the most important thing in my opinion. Calories and intensity.
Yeah.
Getting enough food in.
And like you mentioned, it shouldn't really matter how you train, whether you're bulking or cutting. No, and as a teenager, I'd definitely advise you to go straight into a bulk.
Oh, 100%.
For sure. This is the period of time where you are going to probably gain the most amount of muscle in your life.
You go through especially as being a teenager with sky high testosterone levels as well, but also just as a newbie. That first 1 to 2 years, you can put on a lot of muscle. Yeah, so the next 1 to 2 years, it's going to halve. Yeah. So literally gain, and don't just think, oh, I'm getting fat. Don't get fat, but gain some fluff. And your logbook, I'd recommend anyone to track their lifts and ensure progressive overload. Progressive overload, enough calories to gain, and intensity. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed that question there.
Three most important things. So, when did we start working out? Why?
What was the initial goal? When did you start working out? I was about 16.
Yeah, I basically...
Didn't you start doing it in your bedroom?
Well, I was actually fat.
Oh, really?
I was actually skinny fat, really, really fat, no muscle. Rolls, as you say, I love my ice cream. I used to play COD every night, a tub of Haagen-Dazs and a full bag of chili hit with Doritos, legs up. And I remember once going down to PE, it's a true story, and I heard these two girls whispering. Well, I weren't whispering because I heard them, so they obviously said it on purpose, like, oh my God, look how fat Tim looks in his white polo. It was the summer polo uniform, so it was like a short sleeve going from, we had like a rugby top in the winter. I was like, bro, I was gutted, mate. I used to do like crunches, Mike Chang, 6-pack shortcuts and all that. I lost a load of weight, and then my mates got a bench press, and we used to just do, we had no idea what we were doing. No. Chest every night, and it was like 3 sets of just 10 kilo on, who can do the most reps, and we're talking like 70, 80 reps and stuff we used to be doing, just silly amounts of reps. I put that down to why I've got such a strong big chest.
Yeah,
and we used to do that all the time, and then it just kind of escalated from there. And then when I could drive, I actually went to a gym. But I feel like these questions are skewed, because would I say I've been training for 5 years, 6 years? No. 2.
Yeah. Properly. Yeah.
So I wouldn't class them early years as training.
Having a bit of fun.
So I'm still probably a relatively new lifter. I have got some decent muscle maturity for my age. Obviously for 21, I have a lot of muscle, and I'm pretty experienced for a 21-year-old. But in terms of properly training, I'd probably say 2 years. But I started working out when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And the initial goal was to look like Zac Efron.
Like everyone's goal is to look like Zac Efron.
It was literally like just to look like Ronaldo, Zac Efron. Yeah. It was just like that beach body look, and I just think it just escalates as you fall in love with it. It's probably the same with you, was it?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I was 16, literally, I remember my gym. You couldn't actually go in the gym on your own without an instructor until you were 16. So it was one of them gyms where I basically couldn't do anything until I was 16, unless I went in with an instructor, and it was something like you have to go past 6 o'clock or whatever like that. Anyway, me and Cam, literally the day I turned 16, well, probably the week after I turned 16, I went to the gym, got myself a membership. I think it was like the first day of sixth form, or would it be sixth form? Yeah, probably sixth form. Went into the gym. Me and Cam obviously didn't have a bloody clue what we were doing. Thought it was great there. Went training for the first few times. Absolutely loved it. Fell in love with it. Still didn't really know what we were doing. Probably took me a good 6 months to get some form of understanding of a training split, or some form of routine. Because I just didn't. I remember I didn't train triceps for the first year.
Mate, mine went chest, arms. Yeah. So it was just chest. So my split was chest, rest, chest, and then it was chest, arms, chest, arms, rest, and then it was shoulders come in, and then back came in, and then about 2 years later, legs came
Legs,
in,
yeah.
and it was just leg extensions.
Legs was the last thing that came in for me.
Leg extensions with the protector on the barbell squat. I used
the sponge.
Yeah, I used to have the sponge on my back. Oh mate, I've got videos of it, and my legs are stick thin. I remember someone saying, "Oh, gee,
Go on."
I've got videos of it. I remember someone saying to me as well. So you know when I lost all that weight, my legs were like that, and I had someone say to me, "How do them legs hold up your body?" And this girl called me crazy legs once. If any of my mates listen to this, any of my mates listen to this, they'll be in tears. Crazy legs. It was so funny. But yeah, that's why I've always struggled with legs. Like, as anyone knows me, if you see my calves.
Yeah, but you've got big legs now.
Well, yeah,
big quads.
Yeah, I've got big quads. But
it's like for me, bro. I remember the first time I went into a bar, underneath a bar to do a back squat. Remember I was with Cam. I probably put about 10 kilos on each side. I went to squat. Cramped. My whole legs cramped up.
It's like you've never done. When would you really ever do that motion as well? It's like, I just think it's a pointless exercise.
My legs just seized up, and then I was like, "Come on, I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
It took me about 6 months again to try it again, and I didn't cramp. I was like, "Oh, I didn't cramp," and then obviously built up the sets, and then slowly started to incorporate more leg
lunges. Yeah.
But
and then leg press with like a 1 inch range of motion.
Yeah.
It used to be that like.
But then, like, what we were saying about why I started was just to try and get big. I was skinny. I was proper skinny. Like, I'd still say I'm still quite skinny, but back then I wanted to get a little bit bigger. I wanted some arms. My arms were pretty much non-existent. Yeah. You want to get some abs. You want to look decent for to get some girls or whatever. It doesn't work though. We've discussed this. Abs just does not work.
They don't care, literally.
And yeah, it kind of just developed. As a beginner, you just want to enjoy yourself, to be honest. Especially for the first 2 years, you want to enjoy yourself, but definitely try and implement a routine.
I used to go and have a little piss about my mates at the gym as well. That's what it got to. Like at the start, it was another way just for
socialising.
Somewhat enjoyable.
I still use it now for socialising.
Oh yeah, of course, but
as well as
more serious.
It's
not much enjoyment when we train. So.
When me and you train, it's fucking nuts.
It is.
Anxiety's through the roof.
Mate, anxiety now's through the roof with RDLs coming up.
Yeah, well, that's last question. How to maintain your mental health when you have so much pressure on at uni? We're kind of going to tailor this towards training for you.
Yeah, well, as I say, I don't really get anxious, or I don't suffer with mental health at all, but I don't get anxious about uni or feel pressure with stuff like that. I never have. Exams and stuff's never ever bothered me. I've never got stressed over that. Myself, I used to love exam periods at school because it just meant 1-2 hour a day and I'm done for the day rather than being in school. But I do get anxious with the gym. As I say, in prep, mental health took a... I don't like saying mental health because there is people with actual mental health. I don't have it, but like my mental health and like well-being was at like rock bottom compared to where it usually is on prep. If I didn't get a new low weigh in, I'd just be gutted for the day. Like had put up with a lot through prep, and it just completely changes you. And now I get anxious like when now I'm getting pretty strong in this off season and I'm moving a lot of weight. I do like feel myself in the morning, the day before training, getting really anxious, anxious, ready to go lift this weight because it's so heavy and it's so painful at times that it is getting anxious. And it's more just, why am I not gaining weight? Why is this? Like, am I going to be ready in 2 years? Like, that plays a part, but it's not mental health. It's just like some slight anxiety to do with that. But I know that like uni does put pressure on you, doesn't it?
For sure. My probably biggest tip for maintaining your mental health is having your balance. For us, we go to the gym and that is our hobby relief. That is our stress relief. That's our time away from uni. If I didn't go to the gym, I probably wouldn't know what I'd do. I'd probably just be sat around playing the PlayStation or just chilling out too much.
Can you imagine life without it?
What?
Genuinely, without training?
Oh no, I couldn't.
I don't know what people do.
I don't know what my mentality would be like. I don't know what I'd be doing in my life. Obviously, we'd probably be doing something else because we're people that like to be doing things and like I probably wouldn't have even started YouTube without going to the gym.
No way.
Because it all started around fitness.
I don't know what I'd do, but it is definitely, well, with you, it'd be stress relief, innit? 100%. It's that time out of the day where you can forget about things.
See your friends, have your time to yourself for sure. If you've got loads of work on, do like a decent amount of work, then go to the gym or go and do something you enjoy, go and see your mates, meet up with your family or whatever, then come back to the work. Definitely just have time away from uni where you can literally go away, switch off, relax, have time to yourself, do hobbies. and enjoy yourself. Just you want that time away from uni. Otherwise, it does just it all gets on top of you for sure. Especially with something like architecture, it's fucking hectic.
I'd say don't leave things to the last minute.
Oh yeah,
and I'm the worst for it because my whole life I've left things to the last minute. I'm the king of night before revision. You remember I'd come to like you, I'd go do an exam, come to Tom in the gym, and Tom's like, "How do you think it went?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've done morning revision the night before, but yeah, it's sound for that." But now I'm completely different.
85%.
Yeah, I'd come out with now a decent grade, but like I've just been able to do that. But this year's third year is completely different now. My mindset has completely changed. Like I am on the ball already. Where before probably I'd have left my disc to the last week and just nailed it. But now I am on the ball and it's completely changed with everything. And I wouldn't recommend anyone doing that because obviously that night before I was under a lot of stress and pressure. But yeah, I wouldn't be a night before geezer if you get anxious about uni.
Yeah, for sure. Just stay on top of your shit.
Stay on top.
Should we wrap up there?
Wrap it up, bro.
I'm gonna go train after this.
Yeah, big pull down. I think it's pretty decent.
Huh?
Pretty decent.
Yeah, happy days. So yes, thank you as always for watching the video or listening or wherever you are. If you've got any more questions for the next podcast, I'm going to try and get some more guests on. I feel like I need to get a girl on because otherwise it's just all going to be males, all architecture or fitness guys. So if you've got any questions that you want me to answer in the next podcast, just let me know down below in the comment section or just message me on Instagram at Tom Ray. Would you like to plug your stuff?
I am at Tim Stewart Fitness on Instagram and Tim Stewart Fitness on YouTube as well. So make sure you go and give me a little follow. No problem, bro. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll do this again at some point.
100%. We're back on soon.
And yeah, thank you.
We rolling?
We rolling. Right, peace. See you later. Bye bye.